I was kind of disturbed last week to hear that there were so many complaints about from citizens about the way they were being treated by law enforcement, and we don't have it anymore. But originally, I was a part of what was called the Mayor's Human Relation Commission. We had a Human Relation Commission, which was approved by the state. And this was comprised of lay people, basically. We had lawyers, we had pastors, we had teachers, we had people from different walks of life, and I, at one point, was the liaison between the city and the mayor and the Human Relations Commission. But what this commission did was, it was known to receive complaints from citizens. It was done very confidentially. Their complaints were discussed among the group, that the commission rather, and the commission would then discuss what the complaint was, and there would be some investigation going on. If it was really, really serious to the point that we've heard that some of these complaints have been, then it would be turned over to the mayor for the mayor to discuss it with the chief of police. If it wasn't that serious, well, everything is serious. I'd fall out if a cop stopped me. But anyway, if it was something that could be handled by the commission, that person had a meeting and, discussed the situation, and we basically took care of it. And I think that maybe we need to start thinking of that again, because when you start talking about that many complaints, that's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to wait and hear it at the time that it's a reappointment for a chief of police. Personally, if I got that many complaints, I would have held a meeting in my community, and if my community was large, I would have divided it into sections where I could meet with certain people. But it's disturbing to me because, like all of us up here, I'm very proud of the city that I represent, and I would hate to have this kind of dark mark against it. And I think that we can come up with some resolutions, but I would just like to throw out that idea that it could be perhaps passed on and rethought of, because we shouldn't have to hear this many complaints have been made. And personally, I get calls all the time. I used to get calls all the time, but I don't get as many as I used to. But we shouldn't get that many complaints and not take action before something like a reappointment comes up. Citizens' concerns are very important to them. And no matter how minor we may think they are, they need some looking into. And so I just think that if we don't start can be handled before we get a conglomeration of a bunch of complaints. I really think that we should handle this in a much more accurate and expedient way. So that is my suggestion, that if we don't have another Mayor's Human Relation Commission, we come up with some idea where any of us can have a way to discuss before it gets out of hand what we've been being reported to, so that Lake Charles can continue to thrive and that people think it's a very safe place to live. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Ms. August. The first thing I want to do is I want to give kudos and thanks Katie Harrington. As you can see now, today will be the first time that our agenda meeting will be streamed live, but from now on, the agenda meetings and the city council meetings will be streamed live, and it's due to Katie's effort and Mike over there, the guy that we never pay attention to, along with Soup Kitchen, that will be starting to get this televised throughout the city. I think it's going to be on YouTube today. so you can get the meetings. You will be able to find the meetings, and we hope that the citizens don't get lazy and just sit at home, because we need your voices here in the meeting. The other thing is, I would like to have a list of projects that's for District F in the Lake Charles Rebound, that's listed in Lake Charles Rebound. Also, I'd like to have an update on the Johnson Hall project, where we stand with that, because I think it's time for us to do something with that particular area. So with that being said, anything else? This is the time that we allow the public to speak. I only have one card, and it's Mr. Miles. State your name and address for the record, please.
Miles Brown, 1020. I just have a few concerns. My main concern I have is that about a month ago, I sent some body camera footage for a request, and there was a mistake that was made on it. So I sent it to the appropriate party. They said they would get back with me. They gave it to whoever needed to be done. But it's been over a month and I haven't gotten it. And the reason why I'm worried is because I've already paid for it. And there's already been a history where I've paid for stuff, or a public record's been a mistake or something like that, or whether it was a traffic study that took a year to happen. So I'm not trying to fight with anybody, but at the same time, I did give my money to the city.
Mr. Miles, can you state the name of what you submitted and the date that you submitted it?
I have the public record right here.
Okay.
So
Could you just state it for the record?
you want me to read it?
No, just the date and what you submitted.
Okay.
Mr. President, if you can give the PRR number?
I don't know if it has a PR exact. I can just read it out. It was for July 12th, 2024. And what I said was that this particular footage was actually on the news. So I made it easier for them to find out whatever it was. But it looked like they got confused with whatever body camera footage I was asking for. So I don't know why it happened, but it's just like I say, it's been over a month. I already
Mr.
put my
Rubin.
money into it, so that's the
Mr.
reason.
Rubin, did he give you the information you needed to look it up?
Yeah, I'm familiar with what he's asking for. We received body cam footage, and we have to send it back to the police department to get some corrections on it.
Okay.
I think they have a new system, so we're trying to, what it means.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Shelley. Anything else, Mr. Miles?
So.
Is that one, that's the two? That
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I'm not trying to be picky, but again, there's a certain time that you're supposed to tell us if we don't get it within a certain period of time in writing. So I haven't got anything in writing telling me, oh, it's supposed to come at this time, whatever the case may be, because last time it took 4 months to get something. So
He sent me an email, I responded.
Yeah.
Was it last week?
yeah, I sent it last week, but you said
Explaining that I had to send it back, and it wouldn't, so
So you did receive notice of what had to be done?
I just
That
couldn't
was-
give him I couldn't give him a date at that
Yeah.
time. I
Okay.
still-
so.
I'll try to get something from.
Okay.
Yeah, so okay, well, all right, well that's
We're working on it.
all right.
We haven't forgotten.
Like I say, I'm trying to do things appropriate. I just don't want it to just keep happening. So thank you.
All right. Mr. Theodore Jones, please state your name and address for the record.
Theodore Jones, 1428 Tasker. I'm trying not to keep y'all, but I have some little type of pictures here real quick. I didn't make them fancy. I just made some pictures.
Okay, that's fine.
A good view of
We can pass them down. All right.
y'all the same. Yeah.
Let me get one, Mr. Jones. Another? All right.
I'll share yours. I'm just going to share his.
Again, everybody knows me as TA, but it's Theodore Jones.
Okay.
This is regarding 1428 Tasker Street. I've been here before with the issue, and I'm trying to get this issue resolved. I've been at the home 40 years, and we're still in the same situation. They were supposed to correct this item when Ms. Morris was here. It was on the same project that was Gray Street, but then I understand it was taken off. Then a while back, I was going to do it myself. I pulled the permit and everything, but then they came back and said that it would be taken care of. The first picture is Gray Street. The way that little section is on Tasker Street, it runs to the north. In other words, the amount of flow starts at Grace, where you see the first picture, and it runs towards Medora Street. And at Medora, the lateral is about, 200 feet from there. So everything in that neighborhood or area flows towards that lateral. A large rain, we get a large volume of water, and as you can see, the erosion is taking place. We're losing land, and we're also losing, if you look towards the street, there's some blacktop on one of the pictures. The city came back and put blacktop next to the street to my neighbor's ditch. And we are also losing the mailboxes. All the mailboxes are next to the street. And what's happening from the flow of water, we're losing, the mailboxes are becoming weak. The last picture is 2 cars placed in a road. Now I'm going from my old hat when I was with the fire prevention, the normal street, 20 feet, but this one is 18 feet. I don't know what happened with this back then, if it was just a little through street or what, but it's 18 inches. And when vehicles pass, we have changed the mailbox many times, and they also hit the mailbox. So if it's a large vehicle, they can't go. I'll give you an example. We had a fire a while back, years ago. The ladder truck cannot turn on that street. They have to come around to Medora Street, basically, to do what they need to do. A pumper can go down it. The larger pumpers, I have an issue, but back then they had the smaller pumpers. So the street is narrow, and if they correct the ditch issue, it'll correct the shoulder issue. And basically that's the main problem. But we're losing property. You're losing part of the street. The street has been overlaid one time since I've been there. When I first purchased the home, it was gravel. And they came back and they did an overlay, and they did one more overlay. So it has never been updated, basically. And you can see from the vehicles that's there. But there's no little bulkheads to hold the water back or whatever. Once it starts flowing from Grace, it flows directly to Medora. A long time ago, they had a huge ditch. And when they closed in Medora, widened it or whatever, that's when the water starts slowing up once it gets there. Because it's such a volume of water, and the way the land is situated, everything's flow north. The park has a huge pipe, basically, and all the ditches on Grace, all the houses on Grace, the water flows from Grace all the way to Medora Street and through the park. There's a area through the park where it flows. And what I'm trying to do is get the issue. I understand the budget issue right now. We are it wasn't placed, but I've been around long enough to know that we can put it in there down the road or whatever, but we need to have the issue resolved.
So, Mr. Jones, just a question. Are you saying that this is caused from the flow of water that's eroding both sides of that street?
Correct.
Okay.
When we're having more rain now, the water used to then come over the ditch. Now it comes over the ditch.
Right.
Mr. Lewis stays on the corner, basically, and the water flows all up in his yard. And my neighbor, you can see where they put blacktop on the edge of the ditch.
And it broke off?
Because it was it was eroding to the street. The street is only 18, it's not very wide.
Ms. Stacy, do we have any knowledge of this or any word on this as it stands right now?
I'm not not sure where it stands right now. I know that 2 members of the engineering division have been out there and taken a look. I'll try to get an update from them, make sure that they reach out to
Okay.
Mr. Jones and let him know what's going on.
Okay. Appreciate it. Mr. Harvey.
Also know too, again, I'm not far from an expert with this issue, but I know Mr. Jones, we spoke before you along with myself and Councilman Marks, and I'm willing to sit down and talk with whomever. I also know what your position on gravity and drainage. From my understanding, this is going to be a collaborative effort. So anytime we can put all these people in the room, I'm willing to meet at any time. I know we spoke about this before.
Correct, but I can't. Now, here's the thing. Even though I am involved with gravity drainage, I am the president, but we can't. This would be something a little out of the scope for something. The lateral, we can only do the lateral area, the ditches. That's a different issue. And roadside ditches and.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just the meeting of the minds. I know
Oh,
you guys are
yeah.
experts, and so we definitely need all the right people in the room.
I'll
to
be
able to make it.
be happy to.
So just to be clear, the problem is the ditches, the eroding of the ditches, not necessarily the lateral.
No, the lateral is not the problem.
Okay.
Everything is going towards that lateral
Gotcha.
because of the prompting and
Gotcha.
also the street.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can't. I mean, I did 35 years to fire department. You can't get a pumper down that. I mean, a ladder truck down that street at all. And there's 6 houses on that street, and most of the individuals are elderly.
Gotcha.
Basically.
Well, as Ms. Dowden said, we'll get a report on this, and if need be, we'll have a committee to get together and meet on it, and hopefully you can be a part of it.
Whatever I can do,
Okay.
but I do appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Shannon Foreman. State your name and address for the record, please.
Shannon Foreman, 1206 17th Street, Lake Charles.
What can we do for you, Ms.
70601.
Foreman?
I'm sorry. I'm also here about the excessive use of force by law enforcement, Lake Charles Police Department. Over 2 weeks ago, they utilized force on me unnecessarily, and they utilized force on me while I was in handcuffs in the back of the police cruiser. I did file a complaint with internal affairs the very next day. Whether that's actually going to go anywhere, I have no idea. I am about to request the footage. There were 4 or 5 officers present, and I have PTSD. My PTSD was in remission, and they very much kicked it into gear. And not once did the officers try to de-escalate anything. If anything, I had one officer escalate it when he was very ugly to me, because I told him not to speak to me like that. I don't put up with that. And I asked him his name. He refused to give me his name. 2 of the officers did not have, they had their vest on. They did not have their name tags on. The other officers did. They refused to give me their name. I was told that I didn't need to know that information. They aren't required to provide me that information. Oh, I can get that information from the police report when I get it, which I actually have yet to obtain. But you know, I had one verbally threaten me, told me he was going to knock me the fuck out because I'm asking him what his name is. And the one who assaulted me in the back of the vehicle, I am having horrible pains throughout my body. This has been over 2 weeks ago. I mean, my back, my neck is horrible pain. I have stiffness, I have pain in my back, and I have doctors telling me they don't want to see me because it's a potential legal thing, which makes me have to go to friggin' urgent care or the friggin' hospital. And, you know, the officer who assaulted me in the back of his cruiser, after he assaulted me the second time, he threatened to arrest me for assaulting a police officer, even though he's the one who assaulted me. You know, put his forearm like this, pushed it really hard into my throat. I'm sitting like this. Look, this is my marks. This is my marks. This is over 2 weeks old. This contusion I still have. You want to see it? This is your officer.
Talk to us, Ms. Foreman.
But that's what I wanted to say.
So, Ms. Foreman, can you tell me where this took place at?
Civic Center, parking lot. Actually, it wasn't the Civic Center, it was the Boardwalk parking lot.
And you know the exact date? Can you give that to me?
126.
126, January 26.
Yeah, the internal affairs complaint is 2025-6.
Can you say that again a little slower?
2025-6.
2025-6. And that's the police report?
No, that is the internal affairs complaint that I
okay.
filed.
Okay.
I actually have the police report number in my purse if you'd like it.
Yes, can you give it to me?
Yeah.
Ma'am, do you mind if I get it and write it down?
382939. Huh? Oh, okay. 38293829. Okay.
Thank you.
Is that all, Ms. Foreman?
That is. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I just wanted to let you know, I'm Sean Caldwell, the Chief of Police, that your complaint is indeed in internal affairs and it is currently being investigated.
I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Alvin Joseph, please state your name and address for the record.
Alvin Joseph, 2309 17th Street. Just a question. These parcels that the city is taking ownership of, I know I heard some in the past, and I think it was item 19, it was like 8
today.
parcels.
Yeah.
And then one on Catherine Street. The parcels, because I never hear where they are. I know there was some that was turned over to the city that was, I think it was within the I-10 corridor, to put them back in Commerce. But look like Catherine Street is in a neighborhood. Why is the city wants to take ownership of that inside the city limit? For what reason? I'm just trying to find out. And the 8 parcels, they'll never list where the property is. And I don't know if somebody knows where they are or what.
Mr. Rubin?
Mr. President, the appropriate time for that would be when it comes up for the final action. We're not trying to
Yes, you are. No,
not trying to block you from any information, but that's the proper time to.
And Mr. Joseph, just FYI, we usually have a fact sheet that's attached to this. Right now, we don't have it because we just have the agenda. But if you call during the week, we can get you that information that you need to have.
Okay.
Or if you come back to the next meeting, which is on the 19th, we'll have that fact and all the information. And you can fill out a green card and ask again.
And one more thing, Mr. President. At one time, we had a North Redevelopment Authority board that was handling a lot of these adjudicated properties. Where is that now? Do you know?
Well, it's been reestablished. State Representative Carter has a new constitution on it, and he's working with the city right now in order for us to try and help and establish that.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Darlene Ryan. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Darlene Ryan.
Oh, say it again when you get to the mic, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Darlene Ryan.
Okay. What can we do for you?
Yes, I'm here. I'm making a complaint against the Lake Charles City Police Department.
Excuse me, 1 second. You didn't say your address.
Address 1874 Esther Drive, apartment 4.
Okay, go ahead.
Esther Drive, apartment 4.
Okay.
My complaint is against the Lake Charles City Police, Mr. Mabro. I went in there to make several complaints, and I've been refused to make a complaint with the police department. I've been trying to get help with other agencies. He been following me all over the place and telling these people different things about me. And this is a serious matter, needs to be investigated. And he running around following me at every agency because I need some help with the police department.
So are you saying that Mr. Mabro is a police officer?
Correct. He's the sergeant over there. Him.
Who?
That one back there, Mabro.
That's
Whatever his name, he said Mabro. He gave me Mabro, but the one in the back there.
Mr. Nicosia?
Yes.
Okay.
Him. That one now. He work at the Lake Charles Police Department. Several times to make a complaint. He been hollering and screaming at me in the time of making this complaint, saying I don't know what I'm talking about. He gonna report me to the judge, and I don't think that's fair.
Okay. Did you file the complaint? Were you actually allowed to file a complaint?
I filed internal affair paperwork with the Lake Charles Police Department. The guy that was handling the paperwork, he said this guy was his supervisor. How he gonna investigate him?
Okay. Is that all? Is that all you have?
Yes, it's very concerning to me that I'm looking for help in every agency I'm going to the police department. Who gonna protect us as an individual? Who?
I understand.
I mean, you don't have to commit a crime for them to come get you.
Right.
But if a crime is getting on you and you need some help, who do you go to? I mean, to tell me I can't make a complaint with the Lake Charles Police Department, the city, nobody. I'm in fear for my life because he followed me all over the place. And it's time to stand up against this. Over and over, you think this don't went away, and I got a bunch of papers that this lady got 30 marriage license, and I go to make a complaint, and nobody want to hear my story, and this story needs to be told.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ryan.
Thank you.
Chief.
Can you meet me in the hall and I'll get your information so I can contact you?
Thank you.
Okay, with that being said, anybody got anything? Mr. Harvey, I know you came in late. You got anything you want to put on? No? All right. Meeting is adjourned.
Now, bro. I got full moon or something.
She said, Mr.